to you all. As you're aware, I was appointed by the President to conduct this Commission of Inquiry into the deaths of Joshua and Antonio George that occurred at the drop-in center while in the care and custody of the state on the 7th of July. Let me say that I'm going to send out some prayers to the parents of those children and also their grieving relatives. For me, this tragedy should never have occurred. And I have sought in my report to provide the President with much needed recommendations that would see the implementation, as I saw it, of some mechanisms and systems that would prevent a recurrence in the future. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So on behalf of the Excellency the President, let me thank you, Colonel Algernon, for this inquiry and the report. We did in fact set some very tight deadlines to which you have stuck, and I'm very happy that today to receive this report on behalf of the President. In my presence, of course, the Minister of Social Protection, under whose responsibility these homes lie, as well as the Acting Chief Fire, Deputy Chief Fire Officer, the Acting Chief Fire Officer, who would have to look at the report carefully and the recommendations which have been made. At the level of the preliminary report which you did submit, I think that we took that report and the recommendations very seriously. And since then, the President has asked the Minister of Public Security to have a fresh look at government buildings with respect to fire safety, fire hazards, and what we need to do to ensure that the buildings are secure for public use. So there has been some action taken since the preliminary report, and I'm confident that the substantial report now that you've submitted here, that the various ministries and the government departments will look at the recommendations very seriously and do what is necessary. So on behalf of the President, I wish to thank you for delivering this report. Immediately, copies will be given to the Minister of Social Protection who is here and the Acting Chief Fire Officer, so that they can study it with their departments and see what needs to be done to ensure that we provide safe and secure places, not only for children, but for anybody who actually have to go into a government building. This, as you said, it was a tragedy, but as a state, we have a wider responsibility, not only for children, but for any person who traverses through a government building or a government facility. And so this is a wake-up call for us insofar as fire safety and security is concerned. Again, I want to thank you very much for this report.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. And the first copy, I respectfully hand over to the Minister of Social Protection for her review.
Thank you.
I don't know if you want to say anything.
Well, I want to thank the President first for ensuring that we have a full investigation done into this tragic incident. This, as Minister Harmon said, is a wake-up call for all of us, and I can assure the President and the Ms. Algernon, Colonel Algernon, that the recommendations which she has made will be taken seriously. As a matter of fact, a meeting is already scheduled for next week to meet with the director and the management of the Child Protection Unit. And one of the things we are going to discuss is an action plan on how we're going to implement the recommendations listed herein. Once again, I would like to give comforting words to the George's family and let them know that this is not the end of the road, that my word is my honor, and we did undertake that we will ensure that we do all that we can within our power to ensure that this family becomes a stable family and that they can pick up and move on in their life. And so from that end, we will continue to work with this family.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, let me give a copy
Thank
to
you,
the
sir.
Chief Fire Officer. You have your copy. This is a copy of the report. Mr. Fire Chief. And I trust that you will find the recommendations herein actionable as far as the fire service is concerned.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Wishes anything?
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for handing over this copy of the Commission of Inquiry. I want to assure not only you, Minister, but the entire nation that the fire service is doing all within its powers to ensure that all buildings, not only government buildings, but all buildings that are commercial and otherwise traversed by members of our country and even beyond the borders who would have been visitors here, that those buildings are safe. The recommendations that I want to urge all and sundry, that the recommendations that we constantly make to agencies, that they implement them so that persons who use those structures can feel safe whenever they visit them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Yes.
I've received a list of all the buildings that are under your ministry of name.
Next one, this is your copy. Get a copy of notes.
And we're working on them. We're working on them. So I think Ms. Ann Green and the others, the fire prevention officer,